Welcome to Heal the World show by the Healing Institute. I'm Permilia Parham. I am the founder and the CEO of the Healing Institute. And we are a virtual global hub of holistic practitioners, and we are out to heal the world. We want to give people hope that there are ways to be well and stay well on their health journey. And we have to face this fact: we are all on a health journey. So we want to make it promote it and make it as pleasant and as possible, so that we are going to get the best health that we can possibly get. So I have been doing this LinkedIn Live Heal the World show for a few months, and I always love to have a guest co-host that is in the wellness realm. And so the reason that I'm doing this, you might wonder, was so important, is because there was a tragedy that we had in our family a few years ago where my mom passed away at age 61. And she was a very vibrant woman, but she had been on a medication for a very long time. And not once did her doctor ever mention to her that she should have her kidneys checked. So it happened just before Christmas. I was 5 months pregnant with my son. So not only was it a tragedy that she died so young, but my children didn't get to know their grandmother. And I really don't want that to happen for any other families. I really want people to know that there are alternative ways that you can be well, and you can find them. And of course, we do have those holistic practitioners at the Healing Institute. So make sure that you pop on, come to the Healing Institute, and find the practitioners. Everyone has a complimentary call, so you can easily connect with them. So today, I'm very, very excited to have my guest, Lena Zavari. She is a bioacoustic researcher and founder of Ions of Las Vegas. So welcome, Lena. Tell us about what you're doing with the bioacoustic research. I'm very excited to know.
Good morning, Pramila, and good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me on your show. What an honor. I am so grateful for the opportunity to be here with you and to speak with you and your wonderful audience about love. And yes, so the two things that I do, right? Bioacoustic researcher and the founder of Ions of Las Vegas are very much connected to the reason why I'm sitting here with you speaking on the topic of love. So it's part experiential and part learned integration of the experience into the language that we use to speak. So I had an experience where I was in the presence of unconditional love. It was an experience referred to as a near-death experience, which happened about 10 years ago. And that experience left me, wow, completely mind blown, because I was in the presence of divine love. And when I came back to, I literally had to figure out how to put human words and language into the experience that I had. And in that journey and in that process, I found bioacoustic biology, which is basically essentially the study of the frequency and the architecture of the sound of the human voice. So when we speak the sound of our voice, we hear it as just words when we speak to each other, but there's so much content and data that comes from our mind, from our emotions, and from the actual physical body. All that comes out into the voice as codes. So, of course, being a researcher.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because, as you know, and most of our audience knows, or you might not know, I work with energy vibration, have done that for many, many years. And it was just not that long ago that I was talking about the frequency of a certain music, and how that really helps with healing. So the fact that even now that you've mentioned that our voices also have that frequency or have a frequency, which
Oh,
is really, really important. We don't really think about that. You're right. We just think about the words that we've said and that come out, but not the actual tone and the frequency. So yeah,
oh,
tell us more.
oh, I mean, I mean, yes, I hear the voice, but within the voice, oh my God, I hear so much. I hear the depth of emotion, the depth of joy, the depth of pain, the the passion behind the words, what it means, all that comes out. But I think that's something that we have to, I don't think we're really trained or really taught to pay attention and to consider it and to allow our minds to hold space in our minds so that it has a chance to grow and expand as a way of being. Maybe that's why I'm here doing what I'm doing, is planting the seed of that. But yeah, essentially, we are a frequency, we are sound, we are vibration, and we get to choose the vibration and sound that goes into us. And then, although we say we have a choice of what comes out to us, but the choice happens when we allow what goes into us. Once something is in
Mhm.
us, we have no choice. It just comes out of us. It's a frequency. So everything is in that space. But love is the one that has the most purest, most clearest meaning definition when it comes out, because regardless of the words that we use, when we speak from a space of love, there's no language necessary. Because if you were to watch a group of people from a different part of the world speak a different language, if two people are speaking in a different native language you've never heard of, but they're speaking out of love, you can feel it in your heart. You may not know what
Yes.
they're saying, but you can feel the love in your heart. I mean, when we see people fight, we don't know what they're fighting about, but we can tell there's
Mhm.
tension and there's that
Mhm.
energy. Same thing with love. So love
And
really is
of course this
emotional.
month, because it's February and we just had Valentine's Day, and our
Yeah.
topic is definitely around how love heals, and that's what we were talking about earlier, was the vibrational frequency that you're doing, the research that you're doing, and
Mhm.
how that creates, how using love, how that incorporates healing. I just quickly want to just acknowledge a couple of people that have popped on. Dr. Medlena is all here all the way from Germany. She's one of our advisory board members. So she says, hello, ladies. So excited to listen to you. And we have Cindy DeJogger, who is actually lives here on Vancouver Island, where I live, and we haven't yet met in person, but we're gonna do that next week, I think. And Cindy has a really amazing online magazine called Opal Rising magazine. So
Wow.
she says, good morning. Hello from beautiful Nanaimo, British Columbia. And I live in Parksville, British Columbia, which is about a 20-minute drive from Nanaimo. So no reason why we have, I don't know how.
No.
Marie Piplovic is one of our holistic practitioners. Beautiful, beautiful soul, does amazing conscious breathing exercises. And she says, good morning. So yeah, thank you, everyone who has popped on today. So back to you, Lena.
Yes.
Tell us more about how the vibration of love works
Yes, absolutely.
with
Well, first,
bioacoustics.
yes. First of all, I just want to say hello and thank you for everybody who's tuning in. I'm so grateful for your attention. So, bioacoustically, so the way I sense love and measure love is when we are in a state of coherence. Um, we tap into the energy of love. Now, it's not something you can tangibly see, smell, feel, or say, there it is, go get it. It's an emotion, it's a state of being. And we find it through the thought process that we have in our mind and the emotions that are attached to it. So I find that love in one word is 4 letters. It's just such a simple word, but it has so many different meanings and so many different colors and variations. It's incredible. So as I was thinking about how do we talk about love in a 30-minute session, oh, there's so much to talk about. It's like, oh my God. So,
Well, I have to just let you know that Dr. Madlena says when we speak of love, we don't need another language.
right, we really don't.
It's so
It's
true, right?
think of we. We are unconditional love. We come from unconditional love and we return to unconditional love. So I think that for me, that gave me a break from having to do that. But I still have to live my life in this container of love, being in this love. So when I came back from my NDE, the only thing I can do is just think about my experience and I would beam love. And I was like, okay, so there's something here. So it took some time and process to come up, the thing. But really, honestly, it was just a matter of tapping into what love felt like and what kind of thoughts and emotions triggered that emotion for me. And I learned how to do that. And I was blessed because everything just, when you're in the vibration of love,
Yeah.
it's almost like the universe brings you what you need into a silver platter, and what you need to know, what you need comes to you. And I have to say that, blessed as I am, that that's how my life has been unfolding, along the side of the other, the downside. But love has shown up, and I've been able to use love as a tool to heal my body. And I'm going to share a short little story. Several years back.
I just wanted, before you go into your story, I just want to mention we've talked about Dr. David R. Hawkins' map of consciousness and where love is on that map. And it's really high. It's on a very high vibrational frequency.
Yeah.
So just for people to, if you haven't heard of Dr. David R. Hawkins, or if you haven't heard of the map of consciousness, look it up because it's pretty amazing. So just a couple more things. Oh, Ingrid's joined us. Ingrid's our virtual assistant with the Healing Institute. Good morning, ladies. I really enjoy this topic we're learning about. And Dr. Madlena has got another little great comment here. When we are in the state of coherence, we radiate love. And yes, we're going to be talking about that because Lena does heart math with the Heart Math Institute, which is in California. And, there was, I attended a conference a few years ago, and it was the first time I'd heard about heart math and how the heart is really a brain. More of the brain than this cognitive that we've always been taught is running the show. So so let's dive into that for sure.
Okay, so you just made me think of something that I have to share right now. So there's love, right? We think we're in love, but the thing is there's the mental love, our brain love, and then there's the heart love. And growing up, I always heard, oh, don't follow your heart, follow your brain, because your heart will, get you in trouble. Your brain knows what to do. Well, God, let me tell you from my own experience, it's the opposite, complete opposite. I find that when I love with my mind, my conscious mind can find many, many reasons why I can put conditions on that love. I love you because you did this, because you didn't do this, I don't love you. So it becomes very conditional. But the love that we talk about frequency-wise that heals is the love that we have to tap into from our hearts. When you tap into love from your heart, meaning you have to do this. So Heart Math Institute, right, teaches this heart coherence technique, which saved my life, and it is so beautiful. We tap into the frequency vibration of love by using our mind and our heart. We have to clear and calm the mind, right, through the breath. And when the brain and the heart become coherent, where they're both that same thing, you enter your heart and you access your brain through there, meaning you come in through your heart and you remember specifically, because we have so many memories, right? Good and bad, right and wrong, wow, all kinds. But we have to consciously recall a loving memory, recall something that brings us joy to our heart. The love of a child, the love of a pet, the love of a place, a relationship, and whatever it is, what brings your heart love? Because all of our hearts get things with love for different things. So bring that up in your mind. And when you do that, you become coherent. And in that state of coherence, then it's like you enter the space of healing, where now when we say love heals, that's the love that heals, not the love that we feel from our mind for something like, I love you. That doesn't heal me because I'm giving you something. Or you love me. That in a way does, but it really doesn't physically heal me because it's an outside source of love.
Right.
The love that heals has to heal from the heart. We have to enter it from our
From the
heart.
inside.
Yes. And
Yeah.
it's an inside thing. So it's an inside love that heals. So my passion
Beautiful.
in the bioacoustic research that I do and everything that I do is how do we tap into the frequency vibration of love, not the mental side, because our minds can easily boom jump in and say, well, these are the conditions why we do and we don't love who we do or what we do, and that becomes messy. But when we go through our heart, there's no mind. It's just unconditional love, and that's what we
And
feel.
do you have some examples of how suggest for people how they can do that?
Absolutely. It's inside of us. We are born with love. We are love. We literally are love. We may not have had the life that had a lot of love in it, so we may have forgotten that we're loved, but we are loved. So the best way to do is to just close your eyes, sit in silence for just a couple minutes. It doesn't have to be like a whole meditation, but baby steps. And it takes time because we build momentum. We can't just tap into love from pain, from fear, from anger. You can't just go, I'm in love now, or I'm going to vibrate love. It's a process, and we have to give ourselves that space and that time to move over. But essentially,
and it's a practice. So that's, I always say, well, a practice is a practice. You have to practice. Yeah. And as you say, little steps at a time. So not taking on a whole lot to start with, but starting to understand the coherence between our brains, our conscious brain, and our heart. Starting to understand those vibrations and what happens. That's just amazing to me,
isn't it? And the human mind, the human body is so incredible. Like, we are psychoactive, meaning that once we have the concept of something in our mind, whether we can do it or not is irrelevant, because once we see the potential of something in our own minds through somebody else, like, oh, I can tap into that thing called love, and that's how I tap into it. With consistency and persistence, meaning, you practices little things, we can eventually go into that space, and from that space just slowly expand it over time, so that entering it becomes effortless. It's not like, oh, let me go sit and meditate to get into love. It just happens. You just go into it.
You're just there. Yes. Perfect. So we a little bit more about your this company that you've created in Las Vegas. Tell us a bit more about that. So what does IANS do?
So IANS is more of like a heart soul mission. It's a passion. IANS stands for the International Association of Near-Death Studies. It is an organization that's been around for over 40 years. It is a space that has the most brilliant minds. We have doctors, scientists, experiencers, people who are in the energy space of consciousness. It's like they all come there. So it's like it's this beautiful haven, right? So because of my own personal,
I can just imagine all the vibration that goes on if everybody's all in one spot.
Oh my God, Pramila, the first time I went to an IANS conference 2 years ago, I swear I was like a 5-year-old child running around discovering love. I was like, and when people show up with that kind of intention and that kind of frequency, I tell you, there's magic. Like, I was embraced by complete strangers in a way to where it was like, I felt like this person that is hugging me has known me their entire life and is embracing me with the same love that I felt when I was in my NDE, that unconditional love, because we all radiate that. Once you experience it, it's in you. It's a part of you. And the more you tap into it,
part of you.
And the more it just oozes out of you. So IANS of Las Vegas was started with the intention of bringing that IANS community here in Las Vegas for the Las Vegas community. I mean, we have a large population here, and we have there's a lot of people that come here. It's a tourist industry, but at the same time, there's a lot of people here, and there's a lot of heart, and there's a lot of soul, and there's a lot of love. And with the 4 years that we've been dealing with this pandemic of coronavirus, very similar to what took me out 10 years ago, the H1 virus, where I had my NDE. I know that in the past 4 years, I know that there's been a lot of people in this community around the world who has come close to the brinks of death, love. They're both the same. Oh my God. They have come close to that, and yet they've been back, and they've had experiences potentially like me, who who don't have the words to express it, but this emotion, because that's where I was. So I'm creating a space so where we can come and integrate that and to express
And that's beautiful,
that.
because the support that people need to understand how to integrate what their experience was, near death experience, that experience that they had, they need to, now they're back, right? So they need to integrate. They need to integrate how am I going to live my life? Once you've experienced that amazing, all encompassing, beautiful love, then you come back to, okay, now what do I have to do? I had I've never had a near death experience, but I had a very similar experience at a conference that I was at a few years ago, and it was called the Science and Spirituality Conference. And I remember people, I was saying, I'm going so excited at a Science and Spirituality Conference. And by the way, Cindy, it was in Nanaimo, so I'm not sure if Cindy was there, but people were like, is that not an oxymoron? Like, you have science and spirituality? And I'm like, no, it goes together perfectly. Absolutely. And the presenters, the people that came and presented were, of course, all the people that I read their books and follow. And literally there was 3,000 people in this conference room, and you could feel the energy. It was like everybody was almost, levitating, because the energy was so yeah. And like you say, meeting people for the first time that you'd never met, and embracing people, and it was, we need more of that. Most definitely need more of that. So I wanted to I'll let you finish up about if there's anything more you want to tell us about that. And then I wanted to ask you a little bit. Now, I know you're not really practicing this; you're more in the research stage, but you have a community, and so people that are working with bioenergetics, some our audience likes to know, if they were to do that work with someone in your community that we know that does that, what would the results be? So tell us a bit about that.
So about bioacoustic. Okay. Yes. Oh my goodness. I love bioacoustic biology. So I'm passionate about researching, and I'm passionate about sharing the wisdom and the beauty in it, because I think before we can do something, we have to understand it. We have to be exposed to it before we can do it. So that's kind of I feel like where I'm at, as but you can actually go onto my website, which is lenazafri.com, and I do share. Okay, I do
show
share
that, because this is this is
yes.
So yes. So this
so I've
is
done a couple. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is Lena's website. You want to go on that, and then she has her of a bioacoustic nano evaluation, which I'm very excited about. But anyway, that's her website, just her name, lenasafari.com. So yeah, pop on her website, and all right, tell us more.
Thank you. Yeah. So basically, really honestly, the biggest thing for me is sharing the love and the wisdom through the vibration and sound and frequency of my voice, which is opening minds into this. Wow, bioacoustic biology, what is it and how does it work? So it has bloomed into a YouTube podcast. So I talk about bioacoustic biology. I talk about near-death experiences, and I bring experiencers, I bring researchers, I bring doctors, I bring other practitioners of bioacoustic biology, and we actually just get right in and have these wonderful conversations about how everything shows up bioacoustically through our sounds, and we just talk about how that looks. So you could definitely learn more about that, or contact me if you have any questions. I'd be happy to connect or whatever is needed. But bioacoustic biology, so basically what it works in a nutshell is, what we do is we take the sound of your voice, so the frequency of the sound of your voice, when you use software, and what it does is decodes it into waves, and then we look at it as frequencies, and we look at it as highs and lows, and where it shows off balance. So the nano voice, and then there's the bioacoustic. So there's kind of two sides, but essentially the sound of your voice is all codes. It's all codes. When you speak, the fluctuation of your voice, the tone, the pitch, the sound, all of that, we cannot distinguish between our own ears, all of that. But Sherry Edwards has been working on this, and she's the pioneer of this, and she has created everything, all the tools we need to use to be able to do what she does, which is take the voice and really break it down and look at you on a vibration. So when you speak, it gives me an idea of, are you speaking in your head? Are you analytical? Are you in your mind? Are you in your brain, in your heart? Are you speaking from love? Are you speaking from which part of your brain? All that comes out in our voices. So it's hard to talk a lot about it without confusing everybody here. But essentially, I decode the voice, and I help you look back at what your voice is telling me. And of course, this is something that you have to, when I sit with somebody, I say, you know what, it doesn't matter the words that you use, what you talk to me about, because it doesn't matter. My brain does not listen to the words and judge it as, oh, this or that. But what I do is I take the frequency and the sound in that, whatever you're telling me, and I show you how that is coming up. Are you speaking from your mind, from your heart? What the details are, and I could kind of like read it for you. And
Fabulous. I love that.
It's beautiful. Eventually, what I'd love
and
to
is that how also that's how the love frequency, how you read the love frequency in people's as well, right? I mean, we're talking, and how when we're, we know too, when when we were children and we were talked to with love, because we did something right, probably, and then how good we felt. And then if we were talked to with anger because maybe we did something that our parents didn't like, we already had that frequency. We already could identify what that was.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such an amazing topic because
really
we definitely need more love frequency in the world, like so much more.
We do.
And it's not just your country and my country. It's the whole world that needs to know this. And I think yes, there was a lot going on when we were actually shut down during the pandemic, but it's almost like there was a Pandora's box that opened up. And now there's just so much more awareness, which is great. I think awareness is always fabulous. And more people are taking more responsibility for their health. And certainly I've discovered that with the Healing Institute, people are now looking at alternative ways of being well and staying well, which is great. But we also have now gone almost to level where people are searching. They're searching for what they don't know, but they don't know where to go. So, the work that you're doing is amazing, and you're providing a vehicle for people to find out more information.
Absolutely.
So, that's beautiful. Yeah, we've almost done our full 30 minutes. So, any other things you would like to tell our audience before we finish up for the day?
I want to say thank you so much, Pramila, for having me here and for giving me the opportunity to share, what I have to share. And I just want to say that the past 4 years with the pandemic, we can choose to look at it from a side of love or from a side of fear. And that's how we tap into the healing powers of love, is where we stand and how we look out. And yes, there's been a lot of, I don't want to say negative, but pain and hurt in the world in the
Mhm.
past 4 years. But at the same time, I see that there's been so much growth and so much love and so much sharing. And just the fact that these 4 years gave us the opportunity for all of us to jump online and look at you. I mean, I've been following you, Pramila, for a few years, working on this Healing Institute and all the incredible people you've brought together. I mean, wow, you are really amplifying the energy vibration of love through your voice and through the voice and presence of all these amazing people and allowing me to be a part of it. So, yeah, I think we need to, this is how we tap into love, is by speaking of love and sharing love, and for, whatever it is for us. So thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of love to the world.
Well, I'm so delighted to have you on the show and talking about love and the vibration and the frequency of love. And yes, you and I would not have met. We met on a networking platform, so we wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for the pandemic. I say, I wouldn't have learned Zoom if it hadn't been for the
I know.
pandemic. And thank goodness, because now we can do the Heal the World show, but we can also heal the world over Zoom. And
Yeah.
most of our practitioners, all of our partners do have the capability of doing their modality distance wise. So thank you again for being a co-host. And I just wanted to leave everybody with knowing that, we do have a big ask here at the Healing Institute. We're out to heal the world. So please tell people, share with your community, share with them our Healing Institute, share with them World Show so that they can meet amazing people like Lena Zafari, and let people know that there is a way and there is hope for them. We have a vision to grow this community globally, and our motto, the Healing Institute motto, is service with love. So I'm very, very happy that we talked about love today, and we have actually talked about it all month, which is great. So once again, Lena, thank you again, and we will be connected with everybody on next Friday on Heal the World show. We will let you know that Lena and I will go back through the chat in the event on LinkedIn, and we will, any other questions, and we will comment on your comments. We will ask any other questions. I'll put in your when we do the answer, we'll put in Lena's contact information, her website, and also her offer, so you can get in touch with her. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Blessings to the world.
And lots of love.